For the best prices and service on Pokemon TCG singles and products, check out ccgcastle.com and use promo code Evolutionaries-5 for 5% off your next order.
Hello Pokemon fans, I'm Professor K for the Pokemon Evolutionaries, and today we are back with another Deck Tech Thursday, and this week my deck of choice is going to be Lurantis GX, Solgaleo GX. It has quite a bit of synergy, and I feel like it has the potential to be a pretty decent deck. Maybe not fully now, but maybe a little bit down the line it'll be a little bit better. I still think it's a good deck for now, and it's something to definitely keep an eye on. It's got a lot of good synergy because, obviously, as we know, Solgaleo GX's attack discards the energy, and Lurantis puts energy back out of the discard pile. So it has a lot of switching capabilities. Solgaleo's Ultra Road is a great ability and allows you to just kind of switch things around and attack with whoever you want to. It has potential to be a very powerful, very deadly deck. So let's take a quick look at a build that I have come up with and just see what you guys think of it. So, of course, we're going to start off here with 3 copies of Fomantis. Fomantis, of course, being the basic Pokemon that you need to evolve into Lurantis GX. Fomantis, in and of itself, is not too bad of a card. If you happen to go second and you can't evolve it, you can always Synthesis, where you can search your deck for a grass energy and attach it to one of your Pokemon, then shuffle your deck. So it helps you get some energy acceleration out. Turn 2 if you don't have the Lurantis or with any energy in the discard pile, whatever the case may be. And you also have Leafage for an attack, but you don't really want to use that. But Synthesis can be used in a pinch if need be, and there are 3 copies of that. This is not really the main attacker, so to speak. It's kind of a support slash attack. You'll see a little bit more why later on. We also have 3 copies of Lurantis GX, which is a great card in and of itself. Again, I know I'm using that phrase twice in one video, but it's got 3 attacks. Flower Supply for 40 damage, and you can attach 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile to your Pokemon in any way that you like. So you're already dealing 40 damage for a single energy, and you're using the energy acceleration out of the discard pile. Now you can either attach it to one-to-one Pokemon, both to one Pokemon, doesn't matter. You can even attach it to itself for Solar Blade, where you can do 120 damage for 3 energies, 2 grass, and a colorless. Then you can heal 30 damage from this Pokemon. Very good attack, being able to heal, and in combination with things like Olympia, Pokemon Center Lady, you can just kind of keep healing over and over again. And then it's got a great GX attack as well. Chloroscythe GX, 50 damage times the number of grass energy attached to this Pokemon. This can kind of be an end game for you if you really want to. Both GX attacks are great on these Pokemon, Solgaleo and Lurantis, but you can hit for 150 with 3 grass energy attached, or you can hit for 200 for 4. I don't recommend putting any more than 4 though, because that's just dedicating a lot of energy to one Pokemon and you're risking a knockout. So there is that Pokemon. Next up here, we got 3 copies of Nibby. We got Cosmog here. Dust Gathering, draw a card, I guess in a pinch. You have to go second, you have nothing else. You could potentially just Dust Gathering for an extra card. We also have 2 copies of Cosmoem. The reason why is because Heart Evolution sometimes is a little bit easier to achieve than Rare Candy, and this is just kind of a just-in-case kind of thing. And you can also kind of accelerate your evolution by Heart Evolving 1 and Rare Candying another. So I think a 3-2, 3 line is probably about right. Speaking of that, here is Solgaleo GX, 3 of those, 250 HP. So you have a 250 HP Pokemon and a 210 HP Pokemon. Very, very high HPs. Now, Solgaleo's ability is Ultra Road. Once during your turn before you attack, you may switch your active Pokemon with one of your benched Pokemon. Now, this is good for a number of reasons. It's a switch. It's not a rush-in kind of thing. So even if you're affected by a special condition, you can get out of it with Ultra Road. Now, the attack that we're focusing on here is Sun Steel Strike. 230 damage and discard all energy attached to this Pokemon. So you're going to be doing 230 damage, but you're going to lose all your energy. Next turn, what you can do is, if it's in the active, you can switch it with Lurantis. And Lurantis, you can use Flower Supply, attach 2 out of the discard pile back to it, and then attach from hand next turn or the same turn if you don't already have one on here. And you can have it powered up and ready to go once again for the next turn for another 230. Now, the GX attack is also really good as well. Soul Burst GX. Search your deck for up to 5 energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. Then shuffle your deck. I mean, it's just really good. Energy acceleration. Both of the GX attacks are very usable in this deck. Probably you're going to be using either, well, you're going to be using about 50-50 in my opinion. I feel like Soul Burst you're going to use if you're in a pinch for energy, and Lurantis' Chlorocythe you're going to use more of an end game to kind of just end it all. So there is that. These are your attacking Pokemon lineups. As far as support goes, it's the typical 2 copies of Shaman EX with the setup ability, draw up until you have 6 cards in hand. Again, just can't really get away from Shaman yet. It's just too good for setting up your, well, your hand and your game state. That's why it's called setup. I mean, can't be more straightforward than that. So that's it for your Pokemon. We got 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 total Pokemon. And for our trainer cards, we've got 4 copies Professor Sycamore, discard your hand, draw 7 cards. Standard 4 copies Sycamore in just about every single deck these days. For a little while, it was like a 3 of in some and a 4 of in others, but now I feel like it's pretty much a 4 of in everybody. We have 3 copies of N. Some decks play 2. I still think 3 is better because it can be a little bit slow sometimes if you don't get the right cards in your hand. It's better to be safe than sorry in my opinion, so I still like 3 copies of N in this deck. We got 2 copies of Lysander. Switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with his or her active. Again, you're going to get something off the bench. You're going to hit it for lots and lots of damage with Solgaleo, 230, and go for the knockout. 2 I think is pretty much standard in a deck like this. Also, we have 1 copy of Olympia. Switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. If you do, heal 30 damage from the Pokemon you move to your bench. I feel like this is good in the case of Garb, where Ultra Road is pretty much destroyed. That's the only thing. This deck does kind of be a little bit rough on... This deck is rough to play against a deck that plays Garb. Ultra Road is kind of the glue that holds this deck together. So you can stream Olympias if you have to. Just going back and forth so you don't have to toss your energy, and you don't have the ability to use Ultra Road, then you can still manage to switch out of it. So you can just VS Seeker for Olympia over and over again. Still get the healing if you have to, and keep doing what you got to do to make the deck work. Speaking of healing, I like 1 copy of Pokemon Center Lady in the deck. Heal 60 damage and remove all special conditions from one of your Pokemon. I just like it because Lurantis is a deck known for healing anyways, so I feel like you can make it, instead of healing just 30, you can actually heal 90 in 1 turn if you have to. Or you can heal some off of a Solgaleo, turn a 2-shot into a 3-shot. You just kind of mess with the numbers that way. Alright, that's it for supporters. Next up here we've got our item cards, 4 copies of VS Seeker. Put a supporter card from your discard pile into your hand. Still haven't heard word whether or not VS Seeker is going to stay or be rotated out. I don't know if they're going to print a secret rare or not in any of the upcoming sets. I have a feeling they're probably not, but we'll see what happens. We also have 4 copies of Ultra Ball. Discard 2 cards from your hand, and then search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, put it into your hand. This is going to be the way that you get rid of your energy as well. You're going to toss out energy with Ultra Ball and get it back onto your Pokemon with Lurantis' Flower Supply attack. Early in the game, pretty much only though. You're not going to want to do it too much late game, but definitely early game you're going to want to do that. And it's also a good way to get your hand size smaller so you can make better use out of Shaman. We also have 4 copies of Trainer's Mail, so you can look at the top 4 cards of your deck. You may reveal a trainer card you find there, except for Trainer's Mail. Put it into your hand, shuffle the other cards back into your deck. Most decks now play 3 to 4 copies of Trainer's Mail as well. It's just a good card for getting stuff into your hand that you may not have for that turn. It's just a good out to have. Also, a lot of the Pokemon in this deck, as you see, are 90 HP or less. As a matter of fact, 3, 6, 8 of them are. So we can search them out with 3 copies of Level Ball. Search your deck for a Pokemon with 90 HP or less, reveal it, put it into your hand, shuffle your deck afterward. So this is going to help with your hard evolution if you don't have the rare candy Solgaleo in hand. You can get the Cosmoem that way, or you can help get set up with Morphomantis or Cosmog. So, good card to have. Speaking of rare candy, we got 3 copies of that. Choose one of your basic Pokemon in play. If you have a stage 2 card in your hand that evolves from that Pokemon, put that card on the basic Pokemon. It counts as evolving. You can't use this card during your first turn or on a basic Pokemon that was put into play this turn. So you've got to have Cosmog out for at least 1 turn before you can rare candy evolve into Solgaleo. But rare candy is really good for skipping this middle evolution of Cosmoem. Final item card we have here is a Super Rod. Sometimes you just need that energy back in the deck so you can do something with it, or your Pokemon that got knocked out, discarded, whatever the case may be, just helps you get that stuff back out of the discard pile and into your hand. Also, we've got our stadiums, which I still prefer 3 copies of Forest Giant Plants. I'd rather get out a turn 2 if I go first. If I don't go first, if I go second. If I go second, I'd rather have my Lurantis with already evolved with an energy attached to it and the chance to use Flower Supply as early as possible. I don't want to risk going second and only having a Fomantis out or a Cosmog out or a Shaman out and not being able to do anything at all. So I'd rather take the chance of having the opportunity to do that first turn Flower Supply if I go second. So 3 copies of Forest Giant Plants. You could also use Silent Lab too, but I don't know. I like Forest Giant Plants better. So now we are looking at our energy counts, which are going to be 3, 6 metal energy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 grass energy. So 11 total energy. You're going to be wanting to use your metal energy more than you're going to be using your grass. Because, I mean, if you look at the requirements, pretty much you're going to be using more metal energy in the long run than you are grass. So 6-5 split. And this is the deck, guys. Hopefully we can come back on not tomorrow, but the next day, the next week for Battle Frontier Friday. We can come back and take N back down again and see whatever he plays. I don't even know what he's going to build yet, so we'll have to wait and see on that one. But hopefully you guys like this deck. If you do, feel free to use it. Feel free to change whatever cards you don't like. Play it however you'd like to. It's just a really good synergistic deck. It has a lot of just stuff that goes together well. You know, hit hard, discard the energy, bring it back. It's just really good, I think, and I feel like it's going to get better as time goes by. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for today. Remember, you can purchase the cards for this deck at ccgcastle.com. They do sell singles for great prices, and I just want to thank you guys again for everything you do for us, whether it be a donation, a view, a follow on Twitch, a subscription to Twitch, a Patreon, whatever the case may be. We appreciate you guys for everything you do for us, and that's what helps keep the channel going. And I really hope to see you guys in Virginia. We are still doing our live stream donation goals to try to get to Virginia regionals. So make sure you stay tuned for that on Tuesdays and Fridays. So with that being said, guys, that's going to do it for today. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you guys tomorrow for another video here on the Pokemon Evolutionaries. So you all take care and have a great day.